Shalawama, Shalawama. I am DrYasapa from Zion Law School. Welcome to Astrotheology. This is Astrotheology Debriefing number 2. If you have not seen the first Astrotheology Debriefing, go back and watch it. It was live streamed June 10th. It was live streamed June 10th. So make sure you go back and watch that. It is Astrotheology number 1. You'll get an orientation to the celestial heavens, or the celestial map, I should say. That's where the orientation, the review of the celestial map is at. And you can also get it in many of the Astrotheology Devil's Pulpit live streams that we did. There are 81 or 82 live streams totaling more than 100 hours, much more than 100 hours of astrotheology content. So if you have not gotten that information, be sure to go get it, because you never know how long it's going to last on YouTube. You never know what these people are going to do. All right. So let's begin. First, thank you to everyone who is sending in support, be it donations, subscribing to our streaming 101 Ancient Ibaryath course, or ordering our literature. So thank you very much for that support, first and foremost. Also, thanks to all of the people who hold it down in the comments. Much needed, much needed. I can't say that enough. So thank you very much for doing that and being consistent with it. You know, I really can't say thank you enough. So today, you will recall, we're doing a call-in show. So if you're able to support us with the call-in, let me see, I need to share my screen. Give me a second. So if you're able to call in, give your comments, ask your questions. If I could answer, I will. If I'm not sure, I'm gonna tell you I don't know the answer. Okay. So I don't know everything. Let me check the stream, y'all. Give me 1 second. All right. I need to check the stream. So I'm putting up the call-in number. I don't know if y'all can see the call-in number right now, but let me see what you can see. So, all right, yeah, you see. Okay, we got. All right, we're in business. Let me check. All right, y'all, we're in business. We give it a few minutes. Let some people come in. While we look at this, I'm gonna check the settings. So this is a debriefing of Astrotheology, the Devil's Pulpit, by Reverend Robert Taylor. Okay, so we're gonna look at the first chapter. So in this debriefing, we're not going to read the entire chapter like we did in all of the other ones. So we're gonna talk about the main parts, all right, or the pertinent points, however you want to say it. So we're going to deal with the Star of Bethlehem, the Star of Bethlehem, part 1. Shalawama, Isaiah. Hold on. Let me see what y'all can see. Shalawama, Isaiah, how you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. All right, so part 1 of the Star of Bethlehem is our topic. So let's give it a minute, y'all. Let me do what I need to do in terms of the settings. All right. So call somebody. Let them know that we're about to do astrotheology. If they missed the first series of live streams, they can get in on this one at the ground floor, because we're really just starting. Like I said, in Astrotheology 1, we did an introduction, and we did the celestial map. All right. So beginning today, we're going to get into a discussion of the comments. Everybody sees the phone number, the call-in number 530-554-9419. 530-554-9419. So if you're able, call in. If you're not shy, call in. Even if you are shy, call in, break the ice. All right. And don't leave it all up to me, because I really don't want to give a lecture. And I don't think that would be the best way to do this. It's a debriefing. So a debriefing means a debriefing. And we're going to review and discuss the information that we've already covered in Astrotheology, the Devil's Pulpit, those videos where we covered the Star of Bethlehem. So if you don't want to go back and read the PDF, go back and watch those videos, and then you'll have that information fresh in mind. So to do these live streams, you may have to, if you want to call in and everything, you may want to review maybe 15, 20 minutes, or pick up your PDF and read something that you want to comment on or talk about, something like that, y'all. Nothing crazy. All right, so let's get back to it. Let me see, where are we? All right, let's get back to it. All right, y'all. So again, this is part 1, the Star of Bethlehem. Part 1, the Star of Bethlehem. I highly recommend that you read through the introduction in the book, read the sketch of Robert Taylor's life. That's because the reason why you need to read that sketch is because in that sketch or that review, or like a short biography of his life, you're going to understand what he's talking about when he makes these references to them trying to put him in prison. And they actually did put him in prison. Okay, they actually did put him in prison. And he used the time wisely. He really used the time wisely when he got locked up over telling the secret. So here we are, y'all. The Star of Bethlehem, part 1, coming out of Matthew chapter 2, verse 2, quote, "Where is he that is born King of the Jews? For we have seen his star in the east and have come to worship him." So now let's show that. Let's show that verse, okay? Let's go ahead and show the verse. Give me 1 second, y'all. Let me pull it up. Pulling up Matthew 2. I think we need to see it. All right, give me 1 second. Let's pull it up. All right, Matthew chapter 2. So this is Matthew chapter 2 in the NIV. The version really doesn't matter. So here we read, this is the theme scripture for the chapter. Matthew chapter 2, verse 2. "And ask, quote, where is the one who has been born King of the Jews? We saw his star." We saw his star, astrology. We saw his star when it rose and have come to worship him. How many of y'all ever thought about that? We saw his star. That's astrology, isn't it? We saw his star. Astrology, astronomy, whatever you want to call it. We saw his star, extracted from religion. Take it out of religion and look at it for what's written. We saw his star. We saw his star when it rose. The star rose. We saw his star when it rose and have come to worship him. All right, so this is the text that the author has in mind as we go through this. So what I like about this chapter, what the author's work, rather. Let's go back to the call-in number. What I like about him is that he asks questions. Questions involve critical thinking. And that's something that the school system fails to teach people. The school system fails to teach critical thinking, and critical as in criticism, as in asking questions, asking doubtful questions, not accepting, but asking questions. And then after you get satisfactory answers to your doubtful questions, then you can make a decision as to whether or not you're going to accept something as true, probably true, most likely true, false, most likely false, or the big I don't know. Okay? That is critical thinking, that's criticism. Okay, so one of the questions that the author asks is, who are the inquirers? Who are they? And of course, we know them to be what? The wise men of the East. The inquirers, the men who are asking questions, are the wise men of the East, right? So what is a wise man from the East? That's the next question, right? Right? And why did they come to worship him? It's a good question, right? Why are these religious people, these people of a different religion, why are these people of a different religion, of a different nation, coming to worship a baby? Why not his own people? Why not his own people coming to worship him? In other words, why not the baby's own people? Why not Jews who live on the same street? Jews who live on the same neighborhood? Jews who live in a, different part of town? Why aren't they coming to worship the baby? Why didn't they see the stars? What's up with that? Right? Why wise men from the East and not the baby's own people? Okay, so it's just some questions to ask, right, to get you thinking. Okay, so that's one of the questions that the author asks. And I'll tell you, you're not really thinking until you start asking questions, okay? And that's for sure. So that's something for y'all to go figure out. Why? Okay, why not his own people coming to worship him? And then why was it that if it's, if you learn in church, you learn that astrology is evil, but yet here's a clear astronomical reference to the deity, the Christ figure as a baby. All right, a star rising and people following it, and it leading to the baby so that the baby could be worshiped by foreigners, Okay, so just something to think about, y'all. Regardless of the doctrine, right? Regardless of the doctrine. So let's continue. What else is interesting in this first part of the chapter? Let me see the call. Hold on, y'all. Let me I gotta get myself together with this YouTube thing. Let me figure out. I need to check the comment section. Give me a second, y'all. Give me a second. Figure out how to do all of this. All right. So the call, Roderick's point of view. Hello, family. Good to see you, Roderick. Good to see you. All right. So we have a caller. Shalawama, Shalawama. State your appellation and whatever else you want to say. You're live. Can you?
Dr. DrYasapa, how you doing?
Oh, Apostle, what's going on, man?
Hey, man, not much. How did you get your phone call when you called in to work?
I'm just using my cell phone. I don't know. I mean, I just put my, just regular, just a cell phone.
So, I mean, is my voice coming across the air?
Yeah, you're live right now. You're live right now. Let me ask it. So can y'all hear Apostle on the phone? If y'all can hear him, put a number 1. Let's see, Roderick's point of view writes, that's a good question. And I would like to know, how did they even know about this baby? Excellent. Eddie writes, dang, what I missed, just tuned in. Apostle, go ahead and speak and tell me if you can hear yourself. Can you hear yourself?
Yeah. I'm thinking I am hearing myself, but I took my earphones off because I'm listening to you on the phone and not on the internet. So, but I do hear it come across in my earphone.
Okay.
So, just wonder how you did that. So all you got to do, you don't have to connect your number to YouTube or anything.
No. I just put the.
You know, I'm trying to expand my show. I'm trying to get called in, but I'm not able to get over the air.
Yeah, just do. You see how I did it right there? You see, put your number out there. Just put your number out there and then turn on your speakerphone. So when somebody calls in, turn on your speakerphone. And then your microphone will.
Right, gotcha.
Yeah, so everybody's saying they can hear you.
And the microphone will pick it up.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, sounds good. Man, let me tell you, man, you was in the zone yesterday.
Oh.
Jeremiah 8:8, man. Just like you told me, you was doing it.
Hey, well.
Yeah, so.
Well, all praises, man. Thanks for letting me know. I'm running
across all Yasharala out here, man, and they mad at me, man.
For what?
For talking about their holy book, man. You know, for telling them that their holy book ain't all that holy.
Yeah.
They mad at me. They want to know, as Yasharala, how can I go against the book being what they say it is? And I'm confused, man, because they know when it comes to the canonization of scripture, we ain't had nothing to do with that. They know that.
Kind of makes you wonder about motive. I mean, I don't know what level of education they got, but you know, you understand what I'm saying to you? Because I tend to agree with you. I tend to agree with you, Apostle. If you know, we didn't have anything to do with it.
Yeah. Well, no. I mean, I think the Most High is able to protect His word, and if you sincerely seek His word will find you out. That's the way the Holy Spirit will give it to you. So that's the way I look at it. And you will get the correct word. You get it straight from the Most High. I'm not saying I'm totally against the book. The book has good books in it, and it's able to direct us. But you got to be, you know, my mother always said, when you listen to people, you got to be able to chew the meat and throw away the bone.
Mm-hmm. So I'm curious. I'm curious, Apostle. So so they deny that there are lies written in Scripture. They deny that.
Oh, look, they believe the Bible is 100% the word of the Most High without infallibles. It is accurate, just like it is. That's what they believe, and they are against me from teaching differently. And I'm confused because I think a reasonable person can see the difference between, and I believe in the Old and the New Testament.
Yeah.
I receive it for what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I accept that.
Mm-hmm.
But as an authority, as in being God's word, I know Jeremiah 8:8 is there. And the Holy Spirit, the Most High, is letting us know that we can't trust the pen of the scribes when it comes to translating our word. So each of us are obligated to find a way to get back to the original writings of the scripture.
So, Apostle, what don't they understand about what you're telling them? What don't they understand about that? I mean, that's obvious. I mean, from my point of view, from what you're saying is obviously correct. So what don't people understand about that?
Believe me, I don't know. You know, it's like, I feel like sometimes it's me against the world, brother. You know, they're all upset.
But
Even
if they,
when I talk the difference, when I speak of the difference between the Ibaryath or the Ibaryath and Hebrew, when I bring that up, they like, how dare you? How dare you? And I'm like, how dare you call on a God, Yahweh, when he never was our God? If he's our God, then we should have been able to spell his name in our language. We couldn't spell his name because there's no E letter in the language.
Yeah, you know what? We covered.
So I just don't understand. And it's like for how dare we take it serious? Because they're just words, but they're not. They're more than words.
We covered
That's
this.
why the Most High wanted us to understand the importance of our language.
Yeah, Apostle, we covered this in our class yesterday. The relationship between the Tetragrammaton, Adonai, Adon, and all that. But you know, that's why, Apostle, I don't deal with that stuff outside the classroom, because people get upset. They start doing dirty, nasty things to you. You know, I mean, you know, some of the dirty stuff people do, but man,
yeah, sure, yeah, they take it out on you, man. They will literally destroy your academia. You know, everything that you use in life to provide substance with substance form, they go by and they try to destroy you.
Right. And so why, and see, that's the thing. Why would somebody need to do that to protect the deity? You know, why would they need to go against what they believe the deity is telling them to do and how to live, just to get at you with a lie? You understand what I'm trying to say to you?
Yeah, exactly.
So they're gonna go slander. Yeah, so let's say they go slander you. Tell people don't subscribe to your channel. Tell people this and that about you. What does that say about them and the deity? Right? That means you can't take these people seriously, because it's not about the return to the Most High. It's about their ego and probably about their pocketbook. And some of them at the lower level, I have no idea, but they might just be stupid enough to be acting crazy because they've been thoroughly brainwashed and indoctrinated. You understand what I'm trying to say? I don't know if I'm right, but how else can you explain this type of behavior?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing. I'm gonna keep teaching like a man. I thank you. I thank for everything that you shared with me. I thank your instructions that you gave me as far as in learning the Ibaryath. I appreciate you, brother. We might not always agree, but I'll tell you, the bond between us is so strong that I believe the points that where we do find agreement, they can hold us and keep us and take us to our next chapter. So that's what I'm looking. I'm looking more to bond with people rather than look for differences in people.
Me too. Me too.
You keep doing what you're doing. I want to encourage you, DrYasapa, keep doing what you're doing, because people are hearing you. And your word is getting out. I see your platform is getting bigger. 777 subscribers. I'm still dealing with 100. Man, you're blowing up, man. And you deserve it all, because you're doing the work. And the Most High will bless you and bless your channel and bless the word that's in you to reach the people, man. I believe that.
Apostle, I really, really appreciate that. All praises to the Most High, man. I really appreciate it. And whatever I can do, man, to be of assistance to you, just let me know. But I'm curious about this one thing, Apostle. You got a lot of people who listen to you. What can you say to people about the importance of asking questions? So, for example, they enter into a Hebrew Israelite. Let's say they got 1 foot in Christianity, 1 foot out, 1 foot into Hebrew Israelite. I don't know what you call it, into the Hebrew Israelites, whatever camp, assembly, church, whatever. What would you say to people in terms of asking questions and not just accepting what they're being told, but asking critical questions, analytical thinking? Can you, before you go, can you say something about that?
Well, yeah, man. They say the dumbest question is the unasked question. It's the question that is never asked. The only way that we can find things out is through asking questions. If I don't have certain information and somebody else has it, the only way I'll get that information from that person is to ask the question. So I want to continue to learn. I've got to start asking questions.
So what would you say, Apostle, if some...
It's not the same.
No, go ahead. My bad. Go ahead. What's that now? It's not the same?
No, man, I'm right there with you, man. You know, I would say, like, for instance, you on your platform, you know, making an appeal right now. Thousands of people are in you, okay? Thousands of people. I say take advantage of what they got in front of them. Call you up, it's like I did, and that question that they know they don't have an answer to, that perhaps you might have the answer, it would be foolish to sit there and not ask that question. It would be foolish. Because perhaps the answer is what you need to prepare you to the next level.
Apostle, we got a question. Let me hold on, Apostle. Hold on, Apostle. Roderick's point of view writes, I have found that people that have YouTube platforms tend to not want to go against the grain in order to keep and build their audience. And then Eddie writes, there is lies and forgery in the New Testament. Where is John 3:16 in the Hebrew scriptures, the OT? Apostle, what's your opinion about those two comments?
Yeah, I'm gonna answer the last one first, because just don't think that the falsehood is just in the New Testament. There's falsehoods in the Old Testament alike. I don't care what name you apply to it, whether you apply the Torah or the Tanakh to it. Man had his hands in it, and the man that had his hands in that book is other than us. Okay, the original source might have came from us, but these books that exist and these books that we're buying, somebody else done put their hands in them, and they done translated them, and whether they did it intentionally, mistakenly, whatever the process was, whether because the language just didn't translate correctly, there are mistakes and lies in the book, the Old and the New. And you got to know the Most High for yourself in order to get through it. I'm gonna tell you. Okay, so now the first question, people with the platforms, YouTube platforms, tend to not want to go against it. Well, yeah, we don't want to make enemies out of people. We seem like we want to placate the people a lot of times. You know, we don't want to offend the people. But somebody told me, I would rather hurt your feelings and tell you the truth than spend your feelings and share a lie. And know that whatever we share, it's nothing personal. We just share to the best of our knowledge and to the best of our understanding what the Most High is translating to us in this day and time. We are in the last stages. And I know we've been hearing that, but this is the generation. And if you can't see that, well, maybe you just need to wipe your eyes clean and wash your face and then take another look at things.
And here's a good example. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Apostle. Go ahead. I'll wait. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm yielding.
Okay. So thanks. So here's another example to point in the New Testament. Matthew chapter 2, verse 2. Can y'all see my screen? The Magi visit the Messiah. This is NIV. Oh, let me pull it up. All right. Can y'all see that, Apostle? Matthew 2, verse 2.
No. You're not sharing yet.
It's not sharing.
Yeah, I don't see it. No. We see something. Oh, it makes sure it's on. I mean, it got to be on.
Yes.
Make sure it's playing.
All right.
Okay. Yeah, I see it. You know, my screen wasn't on. I'm talking to you, but my screen wasn't on.
Okay, so coming out of Matthew 2, verse 2, let me see if I can find my spot again. All right. It says here, I'm gonna go from page 5, y'all, in the devil's pulpit. So everybody see the verse? And where is he who has been born King of the Jews? We saw his star when it rose and have come to worship him. So page 5, everybody see that? Apostle, can you see it? My screen share?
Yeah, I see it.
Do y'all want me to show the
I
document?
think he was born, Bethlehem of Judah.
Yeah, y'all want me to show the devil's pulpit or y'all good? If I need to show this, just let me know. I don't want it to be ambiguous for everybody. I want you to be able to see, follow along, but if you remember, it's even better. Let me show it. Let me show it. Let me show it. Apostle, can you just tell me if y'all see it? Please.
When it comes up, I'll tell you.
So we're on page 5 of the devil's pulpit.
And the text is still up there. The Magi visit the Messiah.
And that's a serious lag.
Okay. Your screen is changing. Okay, the book is up.
Okay, the book is up.
You need to blow it up if you can.
Blow it up. Okay. All right.
Okay, there you go.
So now we're dealing with outright lies and errors, deception. Okay, intentional, unintentional, scholars. So look at page 5, y'all. Now remember the topic is Matthew 2:2. Here's what it reads. Here's what it reads. For those of you who remember, perfect man and perfect horse. Perfect man and perfect horse of a reasonable soul and human flesh, subsisting, who for us men and for our salvation came down from heaven. And it is precisely when the sun sun is coming down from heaven that he appears in the sign of the man and the horse. That's Sagittarius, y'all, and was born in a stable, which gives us the true and astronomical explanation. Now, scholars, you must personally decide whether the author supports his claim sufficiently with this evidence. Apostle, the author, we were just talking about asking critical questions. So don't just accept what the author is saying. You have to ask questions. You have to do the analysis and make your own decision, right? This is between you and the Most High, nobody else, not your general, not your captain, not your officer, not your pastor, etc. More Moshe, right? You got to carry your own burden and you have to enjoy your own blessings. Now, perfect man and perfect horse, of a reasonable soul and human flesh, subsisting, who for us men and for our salvation came down from heaven. And it is precisely when the sun, Son, is coming down from heaven that he appears in the sign of the man and the horse, that is Sagittarius, and was born in a stable, which gives us the true and astronomical explication, where I defy the wit of man to give any other explication, that's explanation, of the prophecy of Simeon in the second of Luke. Behold this child. Child says our fraudulent English translation. Y'all got that? Okay. In other words, it does not say child. That's a fraud. That's a lie. Jeremiah 8:8, if you will, what the apostle is talking about. Behold this child. Child says of our fraudulent English translation, but the devil a word about a child is there in the original, or anything half so childish. Now see, here we see the Greek phrase, y'all, and this is to apostles' point and to the author's point. But it is, and we see this Greek word, behold this is the actual literal rendering meaning of the word. Behold this that is, this thingamabob, this half man and half horse, this Sagittarius is set for the fall and rising again of many in Israel, and for a sign which shall be spoken against. That is, he shall be one of the adverse signs, one of the signs of the winter months. Adverse, adversity, winter, cold, dark, hungry, crime, stealing, murder. Why? Because people are hungry, especially those who get the punishment of sowing what they reap. In other words, you did nothing in the spring to take care of yourself for a harvest and for the winter. So now you get the punishment of suffering through the winter. All right, natural law. One of the signs of the winter months, the sign of the month November, when many in Israel, that is, the many stars that make up this constellation, sink below the celestial horizon. So everybody should have in your memory the illustration of the celestial map, where we looked at the celestial equator, we looked at the ecliptic, and all of the other major points, okay? When the many stars sink below the celestial horizon and do not rise again, nor appear in the holy city till after his resurrection, his meaning the sun, sun, astronomically or astrology, but son, theologically, son, theologically, that is after the sun, sun, having passed through the humiliation of wintry state in November, December, January, and February, appears as the Lamb of capital God crossing the celestial equator in March, where you have all of your religious holidays, Passover, the Last Supper, all of those, respectfully, all of those, these are their astronomical equivalents. So make your correlation to the theological equivalent. Now, remember, scholar, you have to ask the questions and do the research. Don't accept this because the author wrote it. Don't reject it because the author rejects it. You have to do your own critical analysis and make a decision as to whether or not the evidence that the author presented is sufficient for you to accept his claim, or you must deny his claim, or you hold it off. Okay, go ahead, Apostle. You still there, Apostle?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here. This is very interesting. I agree with 100% what you said. You have to do your own study. You can't accept things on face value. It's up to you. As it is written in the scriptures, to study the word and show yourself approved among men that is worthy. So we ought to study and not just accept everything that's being said with itchy ears or a doctrine that is easily swaying men. So 1 minute you accept this, and the next minute you accept this, and next thing you know, you're all mixed up because you got all these various thoughts going through your mind, and you really haven't dealt with it in a correct way. So this book I find to be a very interesting book. I've been looking at every now and then as you've been teaching on the Devil's Pulpit. It's like a very old book, one that probably started very easy to get. One that I would like to have for myself. So I'm gonna depend on my brother to work that out for me, even if I have to pay for it. But he got to feed me, so I can get this book for myself.
We got a free PDF, Apostle, in the description area of the video. It's free. All you got to do is download it and take it and print it. In fact, all scholars in the audience, the link to the Devil's Pulpit is in the description area of this video. Download it and print it. It is important that you print it. Don't keep it just as a PDF. Print it so that you can have it before you on your bookshelf. And for purposes of these live streams, the debriefing, when we start visualizing, like for example, now, we'll take a look at Sagittarius. Okay, you'll need your book so that you can look at the screen, at the image, and also see the text.
Oh, okay, I see that.
So y'all see the half man, half horse. Y'all see the half man, half horse. So this is the Sagittarian constellation. All right, this is the Sagittarian constellation. Now remember, these are astronomical equivalents. So the author in further chapters presents evidence that before there ever was a worship of any external deity, this information was just science. It was just science. There was no worship involved. It was science, and it was used to manage civilization, much like electricity or GPS right now. That's all it was. So imagine somebody out here worshiping a GPS system or worshiping electricity. This is what they have done to us. This is what they've done to us. That's how low we are in terms of being misdirected and led by people who want to use us. All right. So sorry about that, Apostle. Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
No, as a matter of fact, I'm gonna go ahead and hang up and hope to get in and hear the rest of this, man. But I want to let your lines be open so that the calls can come through.
Okay, thanks for calling in. It's good to talk to you, Apostle. I appreciate it, man. And thanks for the encouragement.
All right.
Means a lot, means a lot.
No problem, Doctor. Yeah, and of course you mean a lot. So thank you. Look forward to seeing you some more, man. I'll talk to you later.
Okay, talk to you soon. Shalom. All right, y'all, the phone lines are open. Let me go back and check some of the questions. So y'all see, we see this Sagittarius constellation. All right, so make your associations. Integrate this with other information that you know. Okay, let's get this in process of becoming a physical memory in your brain. Okay, way that's done is by consideration, right? Doing what we're doing now. Consideration, thinking about it, talking about it. The phone lines are open. If you want to call in, give us some commentary. This is profound. This is very profound. This the scripture, Matthew chapter 2. And where is he who has been born King of the Jews? He was born in the stable, right? We saw his star when it rose and have come to worship him. This is a key scripture in Christianity having to do with the Christ figure, right? When the Christ figure was born in the stable. Okay, astronomically, this is talking about, as the author has already told us, a half man and a half horse, which is where you would expect an animal to be born would be in a stable, right? But this is quite an allegation, quite an allegation. So anybody have the courage? Is everybody shy? Let me show the call-in number. So here's our call-in number, 530-554-9419, 530-554-9419. The topic is the Star of Bethlehem, Part 1, coming out of the Devil's Pulpit with the Reverend Robert Taylor. This is Astrotheology number 2. This is the debriefing. This is for call-ins, comments, and questions. Now, again, I don't know everything, but we got some good people in the comment section who are able to throw down. So don't be shy, y'all. All right, so let's see. Isaiah writes, I see it. Roderick's point of view writes, yes, we see it. Okay. So where we at, y'all? All right, so if there's nothing else, let's see what else we can take a look at in the chapter here. Let's take a look. What else can we see in the chapter? And oh man, hold on, y'all. All right, I hope I didn't break it. Okay, so so let's continue. All right, so that's one point. If y'all interested in calling in and saying something about that, go ahead. Let's continue to scroll through, take a look at what we might want to talk about. For me, I thought that was one of the most telling some of the most telling parts of this chapter is the allegation that the Christ figure born in the stable is actually Sagittarius, half man, half horse. All right, so let's see what else is noteworthy. The author also talks about on page 11, talks about the Maybug, the cockchafer. Everybody remember the cockchafer? We hear about this a lot with the Kemet people. Okay, I remember back in the day, Dr. What's his name? Dr. Ben talked about the cockchafer. Also, Dr. Ivan Van Sertima talked about the cockchafer. Y'all remember that? The cockchafer, the Maybug. Okay. So I'm looking at page 10 and 11 now. As a matter of fact, let me show y'all this. Page 10. Well, you know what? Give me a second, hold on. Y'all don't make me do a lecture, okay? Let's have some call-ins. So it's a real debriefing. So we can have a discussion and not me presenting information, okay? All right. Let me see. So I think that's page. Hold on, y'all. Let me see if I want to share this with you all. All right. Yes, I want to, there's a couple things I want to show. Give me 1 second. All right. There's a couple things I want to show. Let me see if this is the right page. Hold on. Yeah. Yeah. Tell me what y'all think about this. When I was in Christianity, this perplexed me to no end. Let's go back to page 5. Excuse me. So y'all call in, okay? You see I'm not all the way back. Let me have my voice and my lungs a rest. All right. So let's go down to here. Okay. So having overcome the sharpness of death, he opens. Let's go to the next page. He opens the kingdom of heaven to all believers. Now we're on page 6, y'all. We're on page 6. Okay. We're on page 6. Having come down from heaven, he opens the kingdom of heaven to all believers, thus giving us the meaning again. Y'all see that? Thus giving us the meaning again. So one more again for people who didn't hear. Thus giving us the meaning again, where no other meaning can be imagined. So the author is saying right here, okay, there's nothing else you can explain this with. Of those words of St. Matthew's, here we go, y'all. No, let me highlight this for y'all. And this perplexed me when I was in Christianity to no end, but I accepted it like an idiot. I accepted it because I figured, well, they know better than me. And that's true. I really did. That was my thinking, right? Because I trusted them. It reads here, quote, the earth did quake and the rocks rent and the graves were opened and many bodies of the saints which slept arose and came out of the graves after his resurrection. The S-U-N astronomically and the S-O-N theologically, and went into the holy city and appeared unto many. Y'all see that? Now the next paragraph reads, and we see the Greek words, the saints, right? Notice this, y'all. Notice this. The saints, and the proper significance of that word, never having meant any persons that ever existed upon earth, but referring only to the stars of heaven, or the holy ones of capital G-O-D. Hold on, how did that happen? Hold on, y'all. We're here, y'all. Referring to the holy ones of capital G-O-D as the holy city and the city of David and the city of our capital G-O-D and in Jerusalem, and the Jerusalem rather, in which all these fallings and risings, again, these crucifixions, resurrections, and ascensions, in which no language of astronomy could possibly be more astronomical. Do all of them annually occur? Was no Jerusalem, no city, no place on earth but Jerusalem is above. So what is the author talking about? The author is telling us that these saints are nothing more than the stars. So let's go back and take a look. Let's refresh our memories. Let's go back and take a look at the celestial map again. Y'all still with me? Let me take a look at this. I don't understand why nobody's calling in. Nobody's saying anything in the comment section. What's up, y'all? Y'all want to do this? Is this too much? Am I not explaining properly? You bored? Why no activity in the comment section? Why no phone calls? So let me pull up the celestial map again so we can take a look at these crucifixions that the author is talking about. All right. So now remember, we covered this yesterday in Astrotheology number 1. We looked at the celestial map, right? We looked at the celestial map yesterday. We talked about all of these points, these astronomical points that the author just mentioned. So let's go ahead and show it. Let's go ahead and show it. All right. So that there's no confusion. If anybody wants to come in and present this slide, you are welcome to do so. If you want to come in and present this slide, you are welcome to do so. You can demonstrate what you've learned either here or on your own. So be sure to like and share the video. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe to our channel right now. So let me make sure y'all can see the image that we're looking at. So we're going to look at these points. So here are the points we're going to look at. The author says here, all right, he says crucifixions, resurrections, ascensions. Okay, then he talks about the Jerusalem where all of the saints. So we're going to show all of this. All right. So for those of you who missed it, or maybe you're new, maybe you're not familiar with this information, you're going to see it now. And I'm sharing my screen. All right, there we go. So everybody sees our illustration. So this is the celestial map. All right. So now let's show what the author is talking about here. Okay, so let me pull it up. All right. So again, we are coming from page 6 of the Devil's Pulpit, the second paragraph. Well, the first and the second paragraph. Let me read it again. This is for the recording, okay? It reads here, and then we'll get into the explanation, so everything is there. All right, it reads here on page 5. It says here, November, December, January, and February appears as the Lamb of capital G-O-D. That's talking about the S-U-N, Son. November, December, January, and February appears as the Lamb of capital G-O-D, crossing the line of the equator in March. So here is March. This is the autumn equinox. Okay, so the sun crosses this line of the equator. Look at the cursor. That's what the author is talking about. Crosses the line of the equator in March, March 21. All right, where having overcome the sharpness of death. What's the sharpness of death? Here's the sharpness of death right here. This is December 21st, 22nd. This is deep winter. The sun achieves its lowest point in the celestial heavens on December 21st and 22nd. Okay, that's its lowest point. That is the bottomless pit. The sun, S-U-N, is referred to Satan, the devil. Go back and watch the presentation, Astrotheology number 1, or watch the other live streams that we did on the topic, and you can get all of that. But the sun at its lowest point in the heavens is referred to as Satan, the devil, because it opposes Christ. Okay, it opposes Christ. This is the bottomless pit that has no bottom, bottomless pit. Okay, so now the sun, again, December 21st, 22nd, appears to have died, because You don't see it anymore. Why? Because the number of daylight hours does not change. December 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th, the sun does not travel more than 1 degree upward. That's called ascension. So therefore, people doubt whether or not they'll ever see the sun again. The sun has died. The sun has died. We're speaking metaphorically, right? But on December 24th, 12 midnight, going into December 25th, all of a sudden the sun has risen, has ascended. The sun has ascended 1 degree up, and it is the first time in the winter, in the fall and the winter, that the number of daylight hours is increasing relative to the number of nighttime hours. Is it clear? So the sun has died. Now it is resurrected December 25th. December 24th, 12 midnight, going into December 25th, the resurrection. All right, everybody see that? That's occurring here. The sun crosses the celestial equator, March 21st, thereabout. All right, it passes over the Passover. All right, okay, so now the Jewish people and the Christians, they have their own way of interpreting this. Okay, but it's nothing but the same thing. The sun, S-U-N, crosses over the celestial equator. Now let's go back to the text, page 5. November, December, January, February appears as the Lamb of capital G-O-D. So what's the Lamb of capital G-O-D? What's the zodiac sign of a lamb? That's right, you got it. You got it. Crossing the line of the equator in March. We're having overcome the sharpness of death, December 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th. He that is the S-U-N Son opens the kingdom of the heaven to all believers, thus giving us the meaning again, where no other meaning can be imagined of those words of St. Matthew, quote, the earth did quake and the rocks rent and the graves were opened, and many bodies of the saints which slept arose and came out of the graves after his, that's the S-U-N, resurrection, and went into the holy city and appeared unto many. And here we see the Greek word for saints. This is page number 6, y'all. In the proper significance of that word, never having meant any persons that ever existed upon earth, but referring only to the stars of heaven or the holy ones of capital G-O-D. In other words, the holy ones of capital G-O-D are the stars, Okay, so yesterday we showed an illustration of the stars in the heaven, right? We referred to it as what? The wilderness, okay? And then we showed the constellations. Okay, so that's what's being referred to here. So let me go ahead and show you what the author is referring to. So I would like for some people to call in. Excuse me. So here we are. These are the saints. You're looking at the saints according to the author. These are the saints. The saints, the proper significance of that word, never having meant any persons that ever existed on earth, but referring only to the stars of heaven or the holy ones of capital G-O-D as that holy city, and the city of David, and the city of our capital G-O-D and Jerusalem, in which all these fallings. Now, yesterday we talked about, scholars, in Astrotheology number 1. We talked about the autumn equinox. We talked about the autumn. We talked about why autumn is referred to as the fall, because the sun is falling the sun is declining. The sun is declining from its zenith in summer. The sun is going downward, falling, fall. And it falls all the way to its lowest point in the celestial heavens on December 21st, 22nd, which is deep winter. Okay, so falling, you see the astronomical language there that the author is talking about. So risings. In the winter, the sun begins what? Ascending, rising. So again, astronomical language. Again, all of these fallings and risings, again, these crucifixions is when what? When the sun crosses over the celestial horizon, okay, passing over, and the crucifixion here in autumn. The sun again crossing over the celestial equator in autumn. Crucifixions crossing over, cross crucifixion. All right, let's continue with the astronomical language. Resurrections, again, the resurrections, we're on page 6. The resurrection, December 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th. Everybody thought the sun was dead. Why? Because it looked like it was dead, right? The number of daylight hours hadn't changed. All of a sudden, December 21st, 12 midnight, or December 25th, the sun has risen a full 1 degree. The sun has risen a full 1 degree. And for the first time since the sun began its falling from its zenith, now the sun is rising again. The sun is rising. The sun is resurrected from the dead. All astronomical language, okay, ascensions. All right, so that's the author's point. And the author says that this occurs annually. It occurs annually. So every year, when you and I are long gone, the sun will continue to do this. And here are your saints. These are the saints, according to the author. The stars of the heavens are the saints. Let me check the phone line, y'all. Let me see what we got. Give me 1 second. Let me check to see what's happening, y'all. So these are your saints. Now, scholars, again, you have to make the decision based upon your critical analysis, right? Based upon your critical analysis, whether you accept this as being most probable, true, improbable, false. You've got to make your own decisions. Don't let somebody make that decision for you. That's the worst thing you can do. All right, so let me go back and check, y'all. Any questions, comments, observations? Roderick's point of view writes, I can't do too much. I'm at work. Okay, I understand, Roderick. I was wondering where you were at with it. All right. All right, y'all. So I don't know what to think about today's presentation. Nobody's calling in. I don't know if y'all, let me show the phone line again. Let me put the phones up. And you don't have to come across as some expert, right? Just do your thing. Just call in, do your thing, you know, because we're all learning. We're all in this together, y'all. And that's the truth. We are all in this together. All right. So the phone line is going to come up. The phone line, the call-in number is 530-554-9419. Where's the other people at? Maybe, you know what, maybe because we came on so late. All right, so anybody Anybody, if you want, go ahead and give us a call. Let us know what you think, your point of view, if you're able. All right. So tomorrow I'm going to try to come in earlier. I'll try to be here earlier. Let me see. But this is some good stuff, y'all. This is some really good stuff. Now, I'm telling you, when I was in Christianity, the doctrine was the resurrection would come after the after Armageddon, right? And I used to always wonder, well, how is it that these people were resurrected when the Christ figure was crucified or hung on the stake? How is it that these people were resurrected before, excuse me, before the time that the doctrine says we're supposed to be resurrected, which is after Armageddon, right? So that always perplexed me. The earth did quake and the rocks rent and the graves were opened. There you go. And many bodies of the saints, so these would be people who were worthy of a resurrection, which slept, arose. Y'all see that? And came out of the graves after his resurrection. So to come out of the graves means they were resurrected on earth, theologically, right? And went into the holy city and appeared unto many. And I used to always wonder, well, how come there is no record of that? You know, like, why didn't anybody write anything, or even any of the Bible writers? Why didn't they write something about these resurrected people who died, you know, when the Christ figure expired? Why didn't they say something, right? Why is it nothing? I always wondered about that, and that always gave me a problem. But of course I know better now. But anyway, y'all, I guess we should stop right here because my phone is not ringing. Okay, so did somebody, hold on. All right, here we go. We got a caller. All right. Shalawama, your appellation and your comments, please. Isaiah, Shalawama, you're live. You're live right now.
All righty. You know what you were saying about being perplexed? What perplexed me about that is,
Isaiah, can I ask you, hold on, Isaiah, can I ask you, can you speak up a little bit louder, if possible?
all right. A little bit. I hope I can.
Put a 1 in the chat. Scholars, put a 1 in the chat if y'all can hear Isaiah. Put a 1 in the chat, please, because it's a little bit low, Isaiah. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear him. Go ahead, Isaiah. Go ahead with your comment.
Well, what perplexed me about that was when it said that the saints came up out of the grave. I was wondering, how were they considered saints before the Christ figure was even crucified? You know?
Yeah.
They probably died long before he was even born.
That's a good point.
So how were they saints?
It's a good point. It's a good
and
point.
Also, about the Christians, well, you know, in the wintertime, Christians call that the birth of Christ now, Christ figure, December 25th.
Oh, right. That's a good point. Can you explain that? Can you explain that for people who might not be familiar with with the relationships you're making?
Well, you know, like in the wintertime, it says that astronomically, the sun dies or they perceive that the sun dies in the wintertime, and when it starts its ascension, they say that
Savior or the Messiah is born, like on December 25th. That's the date they set the birth of the Messiah or the Christ figure.
Excellent, excellent. And Isaiah, I have a review question for you. Do you remember roundabout? Do you recall roundabout when the Christ figure, his first birthday?
Was it in January?
Excellent, very good, excellent, excellent. You got it. You got it. And so his first birthday was January, and then they changed it. They changed it to December 25th. Isn't that strange? Oh, anyway, go ahead, Isaiah. Go ahead.
Right. But I like the author's point of view about it being a fiction, because when the sun starts on its ascension, it's like resurrecting, and the correlation with the sun, being the Lamb of God on the winter month, and when the sun resurrects, going into February, I think February is constellation of Aquarius.